Hello, and welcome to Linking to the Afterlife. I'm Donna Boyle, a medium and direct messenger for spirit. It's my job to interpret the images and sensations that appear in my physical as well as my emotional body. Spirit knows what we are ready to receive at this time for our soul's growth. Spirit always knows best. Let's listen in now to the conversation with my guests in the physical and spiritual world. Okay, will you state your first name?
Kara.
Thank you. Now will you state the first name of the loved one that you'd like to link up with?
Walter.
Kara, I was first noticing when we started to log on here, some sort of heat energy, like hot sensation. And then I noticed I couldn't talk. There was something happening with my voice. This person, Walter, was he taken from this physical world in some sort of accident or event? Would that make sense? Yes or no?
No.
Do you know if there's anyone else in the non-physical world that would be attempting to connect with you that would have been taken from this earthly plane in an event quickly?
Yes.
And would the other things make sense? The hot sensation and the not being able to breathe or speak?
Yes, that would for that person.
I got to go there first. You're okay with this, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And would there have been a lot of commotion around this event? Meaning while this event was happening, there were lots of police, lots of fire, lots of emergency happening. Would that make sense?
Possibly. I'm not sure on the details when it happened.
Okay. Just for all my listeners, when something like this happens and it's not the person my guest has asked for, I have to go with it first, just because here they are and they need something. You understand, Kara?
I do.
I'm going to go back to the heat. Was a fire somehow related to this?
Not that I know of.
Was there an inability to speak or breathe toward the end, something with the throat?
Again, I'm not sure on the details of the accident, so I am not sure what the damage was.
Okay, but it was an accident.
Yes.
Okay, and it was a quick crossing.
Yes.
This is a guy also. Would that make sense?
Yes.
And was there a woman in the car with him?
They were not in a vehicle. He was not in a vehicle.
Why am I feeling I said that without even thinking?
Mm-hmm.
Was there a vehicle?
Yes.
Yes, thank you. Was there a woman with him?
She would have been nearby.
Okay, I'll go with that. And do you know if this person's mother, was that her mother, his mother that was with him, or would his mother have been in the non-physical world when he crossed?
Been in the non-physical.
So his mother was waiting for him there. You understand that?
Yes.
This gentleman that I'm speaking of, could you say his first name for me?
Edward.
And Edward was not young, but he was mid-range age. Would you agree with that?
Yes.
I don't know if you can answer this. I'm seeing this just beautiful, bright, clear day, a beautiful day. Do you know if it was a beautiful day, the day this happened?
It was very possible.
I understand that you, Kara, cannot give me any more specifics. So I'm asking him why he wants this interaction right now. He's saying because someone should know. Someone should know that it wasn't me. Do you understand that?
I'm not sure.
He's saying, Edward, someone should know that it wasn't me. Like he's not laying blame, not blame on himself. He doesn't want people to say, I did this. This was my fault. Do you know if that's happening or happened?
That could go along with his life probably.
Okay.
Before the accident.
So he's saying again, I don't want people to think this was because of me. And I feel he was pulled out of his body before the accident. You understand me when I say that?
Yes.
He's telling me I need to tell her and all the people around her how much love there is on the other side. Do you understand?
Yes.
And he's telling me, Donna, people don't understand. I'm saying people of the physical world. And he said, that's correct. People of the physical world don't understand the love in the afterlife and how that can seep into your dimension, your reality. Do you understand that, Kara?
Mm-hmm. I do.
This is where we get words of wisdom from the afterlife. I see him as this expanded version of himself. He's not alone. He's with so many varieties. I'm choosing my words carefully. So many varieties of beings. Do you understand when I say that?
Yes.
Tara, do you have this understanding of beings, entities, souls of many dimensions of consciousness? You understand when I say that?
Yes, I believe so.
Edward says, I'll stop talking now. However, Kara, tell me, is there one person that you might be still communicating with that has to do with Edward?
His son.
So I'm getting the feelings of,
Lots of people actually, but mainly his son.
I'm going to go with that because he was speaking with one person and he says, I want you to hug him for me. Can you do that?
He would love that.
My arms are lit up right now, which is my understanding of a hug, I guess, from the non-physical world. And I'm like, okay, Edward, okay, I get it. It feels like, to me, when he was talking about that love thing, that everything else I was struggling with up until that moment has disappeared. Do you understand?
Yes.
Everything about my personal life, my business life, everything about my life is just, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because I am loved so deeply in this, I'll say, realm of afterlife, because everything's right here with me. It's just another vibration of that, of a dimension that I'm already in. You understand?
Yes.
So Edward's ability to come to me and hug me and then tell you, please hug his son for him. Is there a J name around Edward? There a John?
My son's middle name is John.
Nah, not thinking that.
Nope.
Unless he's really related to Edward.
Would be his great grandson.
Great grandson.
I've got a Jarrett.
Where is Jarrett? Who is Jarrett?
His grandson.
I would go with that. So when he speaks of Jarrett, he says, can you express to him my willingness to be there for him? Did something just happen? Congratulations are in order for Jarrett?
Probably more on the other side of that. A lot of negative things have happened and he needs some extra support.
I'll go with that. So let him know also, express my willingness. Edward saying that.
Mm-hmm.
Please express my willingness to be there. You understand?
Yes.
I'm pausing because I want to make sure I have given him all the attention that he deserves. And he tells me right back, Donna, I'm going to cry. You are so deserving of this. And he's speaking to me.
Mm.
What a wise man. What a wise soul. What a wise being. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
He's been gone for a bit. Yes, Kara?
Yes. Yes, he has.
So he's had some time over there to really pick up how to do this.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel to him, it wasn't waiting. And he feels like he wants to tell all of us, please stop your waiting. Stop your waiting. Love is here. Love has arrived. Love has never left. You understand?
I do feel that.
Could you tell me a little bit more about Edward?
Mm-hmm. He is my grandfather, my dad's father, and he passed. He got hit by a car very suddenly crossing the street at his home. And he was estranged slightly from our family. We saw him maybe once every few years. Very loving man. Never had anything negative to say about him, but I didn't know him very well. But I know he had left my dad and his siblings when they were pretty young. We're like preteens and younger, and there was some estrangement there, some issues there. But he stayed in touch, so I knew him. I was the oldest of all the grandchildren, so I knew him probably more than anyone else.
And who would his son be that he wants to hug?
My dad.
Your dad. So you think your dad is open to this?
Yes.
Hmm.
I think my dad would probably be one of the few family members I would be willing to tell that to.
There
So,
you go. There you go. We'd love to hear about that after too, Kara, if you speak with your dad.
yeah.
Anything else you want to share about Edward? I still like to get,
Hmm.
I forgot who the other person was. We'll get back to that.
Yeah.
But you can understand why Edward felt the need to pop in first.
I do, and it's funny because he's been on my mind a lot more recently for some reason, and I thought there might be something there.
So how can you explain, was there fire? Was there a fire? I mean, trucks came, ambulances came.
That's what I'm thinking. It was a huge deal. Like once he was hit, I can't remember if the person initially actually ran, like they didn't stop, they hit him and kept going, and they stopped later, or they never caught the person. I don't know why I'm forgetting that detail.
But you can find out. Your dad probably has that information.
I can, yeah, I will.
So I can only guess that when I saw all the attendants.
Hmm.
I don't know what the fire has to do with the heat has to do with anything.
It might have been hot on the pavement, hot. That's what I was thinking.
It felt more like fire.
Like fire.
Like I was thinking 9/11. I was thinking something like that big had happened.
I'll have to,
What year?
oh gosh.
More than 10 years? More than 20?
Yes. Yeah. I was 15 or 16, so it's been 20 years.
20 years. But let me just get out everything regarding September 11th. I felt fire, I felt heat, and I felt a lot of responders, first responders coming. And I wasn't sure if that had to do with Edwards Crossing or actually 9/11. So, okay,
I'll look into that.
thank you.
Hmm.
Let's try to get that other person in, all right? I don't know how much we can do here now because of Edward, but that's okay. Edward needed that message. You understand how that works.
Yeah, I do.
And your dad needed that message more than,
Yeah, that makes sense.
which doesn't mean, there are other things that we could do for a reading at another time also. All right, let's go with that person's name one more time that you said originally.
Walter,
Walter was an older person. Would that be correct?
correct.
Walter was very jovial,
Hmm.
an exciting person. And I don't feel physical pain in my body, but I feel he's an older man who basically crossed of older things, an elderly sort of thing. Yes?
Pretty much, yep.
But he was happy till the end.
Oh, yes, he was.
Like laughing too.
Hmm.
And was he a jokester? He told a lot of like one-liner jokes. Was he that sort of person?
Yeah, he was.
I was like, I always had another one, didn't I? I always had another one in the pocket. Is this on your mother's side of the family?
Yes, it is.
And would this be her father, another grandfather for you?
It is, yes.
Well, was that interesting? You had two grandfathers come through today.
Yeah.
Do you know, was he some sort of artist? I don't know how to explain this. If he was an artist, it would be abstract.
Not that I would have known of. He definitely was creative in ways. I'll put it that way.
Okay, so the other image I might go with then, if that's incorrect, I would say, was he a psychologist, a social worker, anything along that lines?
No, but a lot of people came to him.
Maybe I'll go with that one. And he had such a big heart full
Mhm.
of love. People saw that. And I feel his heart sometimes was maybe upside down. Maybe he couldn't really understand the love he had for himself.
That could be true, yes.
Because I feel when I saw that image that he was some sort of psychologist, psychiatrist. So he had a lot to give, but really not much of his own. Does that make sense? Meaning he didn't have that self-love for himself.
Yes. Yeah, very hard on himself.
Hard on himself. Got it. He said, I'm fine. I don't have to tell you that.
No.
He said, I've been around you more than you think.
Mm.
During your greatest accomplishments, I've applauded you. Have you had some great accomplishments? These would be more than a birthday or a wedding. These would be something bigger than those. Would that make sense?
Yeah, kind of, I guess, for me.
Yeah, yes. Accomplishments.
Mhm.
Your grandmother his wife? Were they not together when he crossed, or did she cross before him?
She was there. She was just in a different room. She was asleep.
They weren't together when he crossed.
Right.
He says she was such a love of my life. Yes.
Yes.
And they spent many years together. They were together a long time.
Oh, yes.
And although she took it hard, she understood.
That's very true. Yes. Still taking it hard.
Yeah, she's not there, is she? She's not in the non-physical world?
No, she's here with me
Still
still.
here. Yeah, I get that. She has so many memories, though, doesn't she?
Hmm.
Like, she's an older person. She's old. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
How old is she?
85.
Yeah, she's getting up there, but she has so many memories of the past. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, I feel like she could sit down and write a history book. Did she grow up in the South?
Yeah. We're in the South.
Did she like grow up below the Mason-Dixon line, below Atlanta, below Georgia?
No, we were North Carolinians.
But you're close to that line. You understand what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Because something about the Civil War and one side and the other side, I keep sensing. Any of that and the war making any sense to you? Like, did she like to talk about the war? Did she like to talk about the South and the challenges the South and the North had?
She liked to listen to my papa talk about it. Yes.
Uh,
He was very into it.
and that would be her husband?
Yep.
You just said? Okay. So he was into all of that.
Yes.
He had a lot of information too.
Hmm.
Yeah. I got that little gist. I didn't know how to say it.
That's interesting.
And I feel like he still talks to her. Yes.
Oh, yes.
Yes. So you can tell her, yes, he does. That is him.
Hmm.
And I feel he comes in many different ways to her. Do you understand?
Yes.
Not only, oh, I hear him in my head, but dream states too. I don't know if she's told you.
She hadn't mentioned dreams. He's come to me.
He's very good at all of that. He's closer to this physical world. Do you understand? He likes the physical world as opposed to your other grandpa who's really expanded in consciousness, no good, bad, right, or wrong. But he likes to, Walter, yes, is his name?
Walter.
Likes to stay closer because his wife is still here. That would make perfect sense.
Hmm. Yep.
Anything you want to elaborate on about Walter? What did you need when you came with his name?
He passed just a few years ago, but my family misses his presence terribly. And I feel like I have seen him come into my dreams quite often, and he stands there. And I feel like there's been some messages and I'm not hearing correctly.
I wouldn't say that. I can see, remember how he said he comes through dreams?
Hmm.
It's easy for him to do that because, again, he likes to stay closer to the physical world. That would also make you miss him more, too, because he's right there.
Hmm.
He says the messages are very simple. You're not missing, you're missing the emotion of the message. So when you wake up, when I arrive in your dreams, and when you wake up in the morning, what is the emotion that you have?
Mm.
That is what you're missing, not my words, the emotion that you have. So he says, I want you to break down the emotion. Do you understand?
Yes.
Because it is not coming from me, it is a projection of what I want you to recognize. When you feel the emotion, when you wake up, take a moment and say, what is this that I feel right now? And he says, that is the message. That is what you've been missing, not my words, your emotions. You understand?
Yeah, that speaks directly to me.
So a little bit from me, when you wake up from his dream and you feel that emotion, before you open your eyes, find it in your physical body.
Okay.
So as you breathe, where has it settled before it goes to your brain and you start thinking? You understand?
Mm-hmm.
And when you find it in your physical body, deep breaths in and out, deep breaths in and out through that part of your body. Do you understand?
Yes.
And that's how you process the emotion in the physical body, just with breath, with awareness, and watch it dissipate and then work with it that way. Yes?
Yes.
Any other questions for Walter, or I forgot your other grandfather's name?
I don't think so.
You got 2 for 1 there.
I know, right?
That was great.
I will say it's interesting you said about feeling on your arms, like the hug that you had from my first grandfather. Right before I got on here to start, I had the craziest, like over both my arms and onto my back, like tingling, cold, energetic feeling. And I was like, what is that? And I kept like wanting to like, didn't understand.
That would be. I'm starting to come through.
Mm-hmm.
They'll take every opportunity. Is it happening? Is it happening? It's going to happen.
Hi, Donna. I wanted to give you a recorded update on me reporting to my dad that his dad had come through in our session, and he got very emotional, which is a lot for my dad. And I usually don't talk about any like woo-woo stuff with him. He definitely perked up and listened, and he said he really believed what I was saying. It made him feel really good, and he needed that. So that was a great positive that came from that contact there. I did ask him about a lot of like any kind of catastrophe that involved like fire and a lot of ambulances and police and such. And he said he had no idea, that he really didn't think that my grandfather had anything involved there. So sorry for no confirmation on that. I did my own research in 2 different ways. I researched on Google for the date of his death, and his death was December 26, 2006. And on that day, there was a huge tsunami and earthquake in Taiwan, and it was a big catastrophe that same day. And don't know if he was using that to come through as the date of his death, because I had this feeling after you told me about the fire and the seemed like a big catastrophe. For days after, I kept thinking that seemed like spirit letting us know about a future event. I just kept thinking that, and I don't know why. So I asked him directly if this was a future event that he had been talking about, and he said yes to me. So I'm new to all this. Still some self-doubt there on what I'm getting through, but that is what I got. This was a future event. I did ask if it was something that was going to affect me personally, and I got a no on that. So it seems like a future event for here in the United States. So not sure if Spirit was just trying to let us know about something coming up. And I appreciate you so much for taking your time and your energy to connect to my loved ones for me.
To my guests this week, thank you for allowing me to be the link in these messages. And for all of you listening, we appreciate your appearance in the oneness. In this space of love, we all expand in consciousness. If you're interested in a reading for the show or a private reading with me, see the show notes for more info. Thank you for your rating and review of this podcast. Until next time.